Hey everyone, it's Tony here. So I've been getting questions in the comments lately asking about the president's executive order demanding electronic federal payments, and people are wondering, is this real? What does this mean for my Social Security check? And yes, it is absolutely real, and it impacts a lot of you watching this right now. If you're getting Social Security retirement, disability, SSDI, survivor's benefits, spousal benefits, SSI, VA benefits, or Railroad Retirement Board benefits, basically any federal payment, this executive order has already changed how you receive your money. And here's the thing, this actually went into effect months ago, but a lot of people are just now realizing what's happening, especially as we're getting into tax season. Now, I know the words executive order can sound really scary and official, but I'm going to break this down in plain English, because that's what we do here. No legal jargon, no confusing government speak, just the facts you need to know and what it actually means for your money. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tony, and I've been helping people navigate government benefits and financial assistance programs for years. I grew up in a household where we relied on these programs, and I know firsthand how stressful it is when you hear something might be changing with your benefits. That pit in your stomach when you hear your check might be different. I get it. I've been there. Okay, so here's what actually happened, because the timeline matters. This executive order was signed by the president back in March of 2025. Yes, last year. And it didn't just go into effect recently. It actually went into full effect on October 1st, 2025. That means this has already been in place for over 4 months now. So why are people asking about it now? Well, I think there are 2 reasons. First, some people are just now realizing their payment method changed. And second, we're heading into tax season, and this is about to catch a lot of people off guard when they expect their tax refund check in the mail and it doesn't come. So who does this impact? If you're receiving any of these benefits, this applies to you. Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability insurance, SSDI, supplemental security income, SSI, survivor's benefits, spousal benefits, Veterans Affairs VA benefits, Railroad Retirement Board RRB benefits, federal tax refunds from the IRS, any other federal payment. This is a blanket rule across all federal payments. No more paper checks in the mail, period. Now, here's the thing, and this is really important. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits or VA benefits or railroad retirement, you should have already been transitioned to electronic payments back in October of last year. That transition should have been completed months ago. If you're still somehow getting paper checks, you either qualified for a very specific exemption or something went wrong in the transition process, and you need to contact your benefit agency immediately. So here's what you need to understand. Since October 1st, 2025, no more paper checks have been going out from the federal government. The executive order eliminated them completely. For Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, and Railroad Retirement benefits, this should all be handled already. If you were receiving paper checks before October, the Social Security Administration, VA, or Railroad Retirement Board should have contacted you multiple times to transition you to electronic payments. That transition was supposed to be completed by October 1st of last year. Your options were: Option 1, direct deposit. Your payment goes straight into your checking or savings account automatically each month. Option 2, direct express card, a prepaid debit card specifically for federal benefits. You don't need a bank account, and your payment gets loaded onto the card automatically each month. This is fee-free for basic use. Option 3, very specific hardship exemption, and this is key. The executive order does allow for exemptions, but only under very, very specific circumstances where someone can substantiate a real, substantial reason for why they need a paper payment versus an electronic payment. They're really cracking down on this. It's not easy to get this exemption. Now, here's why this is coming up again in comments, and why I think this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. We're approaching tax filing season in early 2026 for the 2025 tax year. Think about this. About 200 million people file a tax return every single year. And what do a lot of those people want? A tax refund. And how do a lot of people get those tax refunds? Most get direct deposit, but a significant number of people still like to get a paper check in the mail. Guess what's not going to happen anymore? Paper checks in the mail for your tax refund. Not happening. This executive order, again signed last March, went into full effect in October 2025, covers all federal payments, including tax refunds from the IRS. No more paper refund checks, unless you can substantiate a very specific substantial reason for why you need a paper payment versus an electronic payment. This is going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to file their taxes like they always do. They're going to wait for that check to arrive in the mailbox like it has for years, and it's just not going to come because it doesn't exist anymore. And to be fair, electronic direct deposit is way faster anyway. If you want your money quickly, direct deposit into your bank account is the way to go. Paper payments take forever. They have to be printed, processed, mailed out, and then you have to wait for the mail to actually arrive. Then you have to go deposit or cash the check. It takes weeks sometimes. With direct deposit, your refund hits your account in days, sometimes even faster. So honestly, if you're someone who's been waiting for paper checks all this time, you're actually going to get your money faster this way. But you have to set it up. You have to provide your direct deposit information when you file your taxes. Otherwise, there's going to be a delay while the IRS figures out how to get your money to you. Now let's talk about who was really impacted by this transition back in October, and who's going to be impacted during tax season, because not everyone is affected equally. Seniors without bank accounts. If you're older and you've been cashing your checks at a check cashing place or at your bank's counter for decades, this was a huge change. And I know some of you had very good reasons for preferring paper checks. Maybe you've been doing it this way for 30 years. Maybe you don't trust banks after the 2008 financial crisis. Maybe you had a bad experience in the past. People in rural areas. If you live somewhere without easy access to banking services or ATMs, switching to electronic payments can feel really isolating. Where do you access your money? How do you pay your bills if everything's electronic and the nearest bank is 30 miles away? Folks with disabilities. Some of you have cognitive or physical disabilities that make managing a debit card or remembering PIN numbers really difficult. A paper check you can hand to a trusted family member or caregiver might have felt safer and simpler. People without bank accounts. About 5.9 million households in the U.S. are unbanked, meaning they don't have a checking or savings account. For many of you, that's because of minimum balance requirements, monthly fees, or past banking problems that got your account closed. The homeless community. If you don't have a stable address, getting a bank account or managing a debit card adds a whole other layer of complexity to an already difficult situation. People who file taxes but don't have bank accounts. And now, as we head into tax season, anyone who files a tax return and expects a refund but doesn't have a bank account is going to run into this issue too. That's potentially millions of people who are about to be caught off guard. Okay, I know this all sounds overwhelming, especially if you're just now learning about this. But let me give you some good news. First, this is already working for the vast majority of people. If you're on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA benefits, or railroad retirement, chances are you've already been getting electronic payments since October, and everything is running smoothly. The system works. Direct deposit is reliable. Second, the Direct Express card is actually fee-free for basic use. You can make one free ATM withdrawal per month at certain ATMs. You can get cash back at stores when you make purchases, and there's no monthly maintenance fee. It's designed specifically for people who don't have bank accounts, and it works. Third, direct deposit is genuinely faster and safer. Your money can't get lost in the mail, it can't be stolen from your mailbox, and it typically arrives in your account faster than a paper check would arrive at your door. Once you get used to it, most people actually prefer it. Fourth, there is still help available if you haven't transitioned yet. Every Social Security office, VA office, and benefit center has people whose job is to help you set up direct deposit or get a Direct Express card. You can also call the helplines, and many community organizations offer assistance. So here's your action plan, step by step depending on your situation. If you're already getting direct deposit or using Direct Express for your benefits, you don't need to do anything. You're all set. This is working. Keep this video in mind in case someone you know needs help, and make sure you read the tax filing section below. If you're somehow still getting paper checks for Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, or railroad retirement, you need to contact your benefit agency immediately. This should have been resolved months ago. Call Social Security or the VA or railroad retirement, depending on which benefit you receive. Ask them why you're still receiving paper checks and get set up with direct deposit or a direct express card right away. Unless you have a very specific hardship exemption, paper checks should not still be coming. If you're planning to file taxes and expect a refund, this is critical. When you file your tax return, whether you're doing it yourself, using software, or going to a tax preparer, you must provide direct deposit information. Here's what you need: your bank account number, your bank's routing number, usually 9 digits. Whether it's a checking or savings account, you can find this information on a check, on your bank statement, or by calling your bank. If you don't provide this information, your refund is going to be delayed while the IRS figures out how to get it to you, because they cannot send you a paper check anymore. If you don't have a bank account and you're expecting a tax refund, you have 3 options. Open a bank account before you file. Look for second chance banking programs if you've had problems with banks in the past, or look into credit union accounts which often have lower fees. Get a prepaid debit card that can receive direct deposits. Many prepaid cards can receive tax refunds, but make sure you check with the card issuer first and get the correct routing and account numbers. Some tax preparation services offer refund advance loans or temporary accounts specifically for receiving your refund. If you go this route, read the fine print carefully about any fees. If electronic payments create a genuine, substantial hardship for you, you need to contact the agency that issues your payment, Social Security, VA, IRS, etc., and explain your situation. Be prepared to document why electronic payments won't work for you. The bar for getting an exemption is high. They're not giving these out easily, but if you truly have a substantial reason, you can try. Now, I want to address some concerns and questions I'm seeing in the comments. What if I don't trust banks? I hear you, I really do. But remember, your money is FDIC insured up to $250,000 in bank accounts, and the Direct Express card has similar federal protections. Your paper check could be stolen from your mailbox or lost in the mail. Electronic payments actually have more security and protection built in. What if I can't manage a debit card? Talk to your benefit agency about setting up a representative payee, someone you trust who can legally manage your benefits for you. This is already an option that exists for people who need help managing their benefits, and it works with electronic payments. What about fees? This is important. Choose your options carefully. Direct deposit into a basic bank account should not have monthly fees if you're just receiving your benefits. The Direct Express card is fee-free for basic use. What you want to avoid is frequent ATM use at out-of-network machines, those charge fees, check cashing places that charge percentages of your check, and prepaid cards with high monthly fees. I filed my taxes already and didn't put in direct deposit info. Now what? Call the IRS as soon as possible at 1-800-829-1040. They may be able to update your information before your refund is processed. If it's too late, your refund will be delayed while they work out how to get it to you electronically. Here's what I want you to understand about the bigger picture. This executive order is part of a larger shift that's been happening for years to digitize government services. We saw it with SNAP benefits moving to EBT cards. We've seen it with tax refunds being pushed toward direct deposit. And now this is the final step of eliminating paper checks entirely. And honestly, for most people, this is working fine. The transition happened back in October for Social Security and other monthly benefits, and the vast majority of people adjusted without major issues. Direct deposit is faster, it's more secure, and once you get used to it, it's actually more convenient. But, and this is important, there are real concerns about leaving people behind, especially those who are already marginalized, those in rural areas without banking access, those with disabilities, the homeless population, and elderly people who've been doing things the same way for decades. The key is making sure you're informed, you know your options, and you advocate for yourself if you genuinely need accommodations. And right now, the biggest thing you need to know is about tax refunds. If you're one of the roughly 200 million people who file a tax return, and if you're expecting a refund, you need to provide direct deposit information when you file. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting and wondering where your money is. If this video helped you understand what's happening with this executive order and what you need to do about tax refunds, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be covering more updates as we get deeper into tax season, and I want to make sure you have all the information you need. And this is really important. If you know someone who still gets paper checks, or if you know someone who files taxes and might not know about this change, please share this video with them. Your mom, your grandpa, your neighbor, your friend at church, share it. Not everyone is online seeing this information, and they're going to be really confused when their tax refund doesn't show up in the mail. Especially with tax season here right now in early 2026, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. The more people who know about this ahead of time, the better. Drop a comment below and let me know. Did you already know about this executive order? Did your benefit payment method change back in October? Are you prepared for tax filing with direct deposit info? What questions do you still have? I read every comment, and your questions help me make better videos for this community. And check out my other videos on maximizing your benefits, navigating Social Security, understanding SSDI, and everything else related to making sure you're getting all the help and money you're entitled to. Remember, you're not alone in this. Millions of people already made this transition successfully, and you can too. And if you're filing taxes this season, just make sure you have that direct deposit information ready to go. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.